Well, it turns out that your friend and mine, former Eagle Joe Walsh.
Current Eagle. On and again and off again Eagle.
We need to touch on that compared to our last thing we just talked about. Yes, Current Eagle. Let's call him Current Eagle. I first saw him live ever when I saw the Ringo Starr and the All-Star Band playing, which he was a member of. And that was super fun. It was a really great show. I really loved that. But Joe Walsh is selling some stuff at auction. And when I say I mean like a whole lot of stuff, like lots and lots and lots of guitars and clothes and amps and furniture. And he is clearing house. The guy clearly is downsizing. I hope this means that he's healthily moving into the next phase of his life. That's my hope about this. I always get a little worried when vintage performers are doing this kind of thing, but here he is. He's up on an auction site, which we'll drop the link in the show notes.
Yeah, it's Julian's auction.
Julian's auction,
house, yeah.
And they've done a bunch of things for celebrities who are doing this sort of thing. You said a good thing about this, which is it's a crazy combination of like really high end and super dirt end stuff.
Yeah. That was really interesting is that like I looked through it and it's hundreds of listings. It's not just like a handful of things.
Ridiculous.
And as you're kind of scrolling maybe towards the top, you're like, wow, I don't know if I would get rid of it. And then you get in the middle and you're like, oh yeah, the guy has too many guitars. Like how many 3 single coil pickup Strats do you need? There's at least 20 of them in this auction.
Have to be. From
all different companies, and there's so much.
All these Tellys, all these Gretches, all these hollow bodies, all just a massive amount of guitars. And what that means is the ones that are stage used, video used, they're a little pricey. They've got the famous person stink on them. Right. But well, when we get into sort of our picks about this, there are a couple that I picked that are like, I'd play that at a gig. Yeah. It doesn't matter to me that, who owned it. Yeah. But it's a cool story to say Joe Walsh owned this. I bought this from Joe Walsh. Yeah. But it's just a good guitar for kind of a used guitar price. Right. Currently. Here's the thing. There's an estimate of what it would go for, and then there's the current bid. And that current bid could as we're watching this, it's going up. So we're catching this sort of mid-story. But as we're looking at it, there's some things that are, I don't know. We'll talk about it in a second when we get through my favorites out of the list. But there's some things that I might bid on.
So what I had said is that if you like super weird guitars, very specific pieces of gear, and or you wear the same size as Joe Walsh, like there are some bargains in there. Yeah. Because I was scrolling through and I saw there were a bunch of Mesa Boogie cabinets for like a couple $100. Yeah. And if you go into a lot of these, you can check whether the reserve's been met. The reserves on these are, a lot of them are super reasonable. I would say arguably on the low end. Yeah. So if there's a very like specific kind of thing that you're looking for, I would keep an eye out because you may just get away with it. Yeah. Because some things are just not interesting to everybody.
Yeah. I think of the song Life's Been Good to Me, which is sort of being a rock star, sort of 10% sucks, but what kind of asshole would I be if I complained about it? That's sort of the sense of that song. He was talking about himself, clearly. And I look at all this stuff, and it's clearly sort of a hoarder mentality around the things that he could accrue as a famous rich person. And now all of that's like, let's just get rid of it. And I don't really care about how like the money I would get. Yeah. This is kind of the sense of where the minimums are set for these things.
Yeah. I mean, what it felt like to me, and mostly it's because there's no through line to any of it. No. Every guitar company you've ever seen is in
chaos.
There. Yeah. And I guarantee you it's just that thing where like he would show up to a thing and somebody would give him a free guitar and he would be like, cool. And he would either play it or not play it. And he would go somewhere else and they'd be like, here's this practice amp. You can play it on the road. Cool. And he just takes it with him. It just seems like the meanderings of a famous guitar player just getting stuff thrown at him.
Yeah.
And while there's a lot of like high-end, super cool and esoteric things, there was, I counted at least a handful of Squires, a bunch of import stuff like cheap gear.
Parts casters.
A crate power block.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
The way that I looked at it, was like, it didn't seem like this is one of those kind of regular cash grabs. It looks like this guy like walked into a warehouse and he's like, oh my God, I've got to do something.
Got to do something about this. Yeah. 100%.
There's also 2 cars in there. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
There's a McLaren and a Mustang GT500.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad.
But yeah, all kinds of stuff. So
my Maserati does 185. I don't know if you're aware.
There was not one in there though.
No.
So, maybe he held on to that. He's not getting rid of everything, just things he doesn't need.
I think. Well, he doesn't need it. He lost his license. Now he can't drive it.
Yeah. So what we opted to do is go through this list. And did you count like the total number of listings?
No, it's massive.
It's got to be over 100.
I mean, you scroll down and the page is like loading.
Just reloads.
Just so far. Yeah, it's incredible.
So either way, we looked through everything and came up with our favorite picks. It looks like I got 4 and you've got 5.
5, but the third and fourth one are of the same category.
Kind of like overlap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my first pick is a Viagra leather jacket,
it's amazing.
which it seems exactly like something beautiful. Joe Walsh would wear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's a NASCAR jacket. I can't remember. I can't remember the name of the driver, but there was a period of time where Viagra had a car and some dude drove it. And so he's got a Viagra leather jacket, and I can't think of a more on brand piece of wardrobe.
For sure.
Not to say, but there's a lot of I saw Dolce & Gabbana and John Varvatos and Gucci and Versace.
Seriously,
and all like.
If you're the same size as Joe Walsh, this is a deal.
Yeah, you're about to look real fancy. Mm-hmm. What do you have? What's next?
All right, my first thing was a Steve Klein SKH-07 electric harp guitar.
Yes, I've
never seen anything like this. I've never encountered, and I Googled it and found people playing it. I guess they had it tuned to specific notes for the song they were playing, so that they could pluck in a bass note. It's a bonkers looking thing. You just got to look at it. It's crazy.
So for context, if you remember the guitar that James Iha is playing in the Tonight Tonight video, he plays a Gibson harp guitar. And that's, I think, what most people would see in their mind's eye when you say the word harp guitar, if you didn't say the word Steve Klein in front of it. And for the record, there's 2 Kleins in this auction, and Steve Klein Klein guitars are very famous for these super ergonomic shapes.
Yes.
So if you think about the way that a Strandberg looks, that is a contemporary take on what Klein guitars were in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And this one, so it's basically like a cubist version of that James Iha guitar. It's very Bauhaus.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's 2 of those, and I know about Klein guitars because most of them were headless, so that's kind of in my lane. And there's a couple of companies that make kind of a riff on that design. And I've seen Alan Holdsworth had one with like two guitar necks, and one of them was kind of like more vertical, and he could do that whatever that Alan Holdsworth stuff he did. But Kleins are super cool guitars, and I was stoked to see that there were a couple in there, but it's astronomical, like prohibitively expensive.
Right.
They're basically art pieces that you can play Smoke on the Water on.
Right. The current bid on that is $2,000. The estimate that it'll close at is $4,000 to $6,000. So
I think that's on the low end, frankly.
Wow.
All right.
I'll be eager to watch it.
Yeah. So next up, this is just one that I gravitated toward because it was one of those guitars that I like obsessed over when I was in college in like just the height of my pop punk dreams. It was a 2003 Fender Special Edition Esquire with the Scorpion inlay. So this was a line that came out in the early 2000s, where it was just a single humbucking pickup on a Telecaster, but it was all painted one color, set neck. Some of them had racing stripes. There was a blue one with white racing stripes that I wanted so bad. And then this was the other one, was the all black with the Scorpion inlay.
That inlay is gorgeous. I'll be honest.
It's a rad looking guitar. If it's very much in the line of the kind of Tom DeLonge, just riff stick kind of setup. And it's funny because the other one that stood out to me is a very similar instrument made by a different company for a different guitar player. But this wasn't just like something that he had in his collection. It's a stage played guitar.
Yep.
I think these are slept on. Let's take a look at what they're going for on Reverb. I don't think they're highly sought after, but I could be wrong. Let's see here. So looking at these on Reverb, they're start around like $550. That's kind of the going rate for some of these. I see my Racing Stripe one.
How much?
The cheapest one I see in blue is $799.
Why are you not buying it right now?
We're in the it's the Christmas window.
Oh,
can't buy nothing.
Sure.
At the moment though, this is the current bid is $1,250. So it was it's going way over. You're getting the Rockstar deal on that.
Yeah.
But it is mostly because it's stage played. That's a providence that a lot of collectors are looking for.
Yes.
And that's a pretty cheap price to get in on something, that a guy like Joe Walsh has played.
Yep.
All right, you're up.
Okay. Vintage suede flare.
I saw these
Pants. Here's the first question you got to ask yourself. Do I want Joe Walsh's pants?
Yep. And then more specifically, do you want Joe Walsh's leather pants?
Suede pants. Yes. This is a gut check. This is you have to really check in with yourself and understand your answer to that question. But they are, let's take it out of it. Let's imagine they're brand new.
Sure.
They're amazing.
Yeah, calling these flares is kind of that feels not like the right.
They have these floral appliques, sort of.
These are bell bottoms. These are like
they're bell bottoms,
big old honking.
But it's not just that. They got like floral, embroidery from the knee to the calf. Like down the calf. They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. If you were gonna do a classic rock, anything, these would be the pants you'd wear.
1,000%.
Yeah. No size. They have no size present on them.
Which means that you are just rolling the dice.
The description is a pair of vintage brown suede flare pants with a black and magenta leather flower motif on the bottom of each pant leg. Labeled Santa Fe Leather Company, Santa Fe, New Mexico. No size present. So you're on your own. You're on your own.
Yeah.
You better hope you're the same size as Joe Walsh.
Yeah, they're currently going for $600. The reserve is met, and that is on the high end of the estimate. So, I mean, you could roll the dice on this. Maybe you end up with the leather pants of your dreams.
And Joe Walsh wore them, or owned them.
Yeah.
So if they don't fit you, you can mount them behind glass and have it be a museum piece.
Yes. So it's actually funny that you picked this because my next pick is very similar in that the gut check thing.
Yes.
Because not only do you have to ask the question, do I want Joe Walsh's pants? But one of the things that they're auctioning off is a pair of Joe Walsh's custom in-ear monitors.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with those?
You're gonna mount them behind glass. That's what's gonna happen.
The amount. I feel like the potential risk of DNA on both of these is equal and gross in very different ways.
Way high. Well, yeah, I'm really not sure I want either of these things.
Because as a person who has worn in-ear monitors, I'm wearing them right now. Ugh.
Yeah.
I barely want to touch mine.
I know.
Let alone somebody else's.
Right.
I don't care what band they play in.
Right.
And they're not cheap. I think they're going. The last time I checked, they were like $300. So you're basically buying something that you can't use, that is frankly kind of icky.
Yeah.
No thanks.
No.
But somebody will buy them. Somebody will buy them.
I mean, there are offers in.
Yeah. Ugh. Anyway, you're up.
Okay.
I'm gonna wash my mouth out with soap.
Yeah. So listen, I filtered it by guitars, and I went low to high on current on the estimate. Mm-hmm. The two lowest ones were a Gretsch Streamliner in gold metallic. It's a hollow body gold metallic. I'm a sucker for a sparkly guitar. I absolutely love those. It's great. A Gretsch Streamliner is a great guitar. The next one was a Gretsch Double Jet, which is a solid body. It's chambered, but it's a solid body guitar in Midnight Sapphire, this gorgeous dark blue. Both of them are estimated to land at $400 to $600. The Streamliner's at $350 right now. The Double Jet's at $400, which is a great price for these used Gretsch guitars. Yep. Great price. I don't care who used to own it.
Exactly.
Walk into Music Go Round, which is a store in my town.
Yep.
And you'll
secondhand store.
Yeah. You'll find things hanging on the wall that are like that. And so to be able to say, and I would buy either of those.
Yep.
I'd play them as my daily drivers. And to be able to say this guitar was owned by Joe Walsh is like so much value.
Yeah.
On top of what they're probably going to go for. I was shocked at how many guitars were on there that I would totally play out. I would play them every day. The fact that they're Joe Walsh seconds, it's a bonus value. Now,
yeah.
We're in the middle of the auction. Who knows where they're going to land?
Yeah, we got 28 days.
For sure. They may go way high, and I'm sure our endorsement is going to really spike the value dramatically.
Yeah, we have that kind of sway.
100%. But it's shocking that, there's some things that were stage played or played in videos that the expectation is they'll pull some money. But guy had some guitars that he's just ditching. And they're going to make some people happy.
Mm-hmm. So in my kind of journey through this, you went from price low to high.
Yeah.
I went from interest low to high. And that's where I found some of my faves. My last one and my next one is another one of these like single pickup riff sticks. This is a stage played Music Man Benji Madden signature.
Wow.
Which was a thing back in the early 2000s. It's in that same era as the Setneck Esquire, where these pop punk bands were popping up, pardon the pun, and apparently the alliteration. And and so these companies were cranking these things out. And again, this is not just some whatever. There's the second picture in this listing is him playing this sucker.
Yeah.
On stage with the freaking Eagles.
We'll get back to that in a second. But yes. And the estimate
$900.
Top end is $1,200.
Yeah. $900.
Yeah.
That's killer.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, it's a guitar for a very specific kind of player. It's got a very specific aesthetic. And I've been thinking about these guitars recently just because I remember them being kind of a thing. Their other guitar player had like an SE Paul Reed Smith that was very gothy.
Yeah.
That was kind of neat. And these guitars kind of like fell in and out of favor. They're still Ernie balls. I guarantee they're phenomenal guitars.
Yeah, for sure.
And at this point, you can get a killer deal on one if you're into it. All right, your last pick.
My last pick, 1993 Party of Two Tour stage-worn bomber jacket.
Dude, there are some badass jackets in this thing.
There are. This one is imagine a bomber jacket with a map of the Earth printed on it. And the second photo is why I picked this, because in the second photo, it's Joe Walsh wearing that with like a weird, goofy big hat and like Groucho glasses with the nose and the mustache. And it's the goofiest damn thing you've ever seen.
Playing a Gretsch Tennessee Gentleman, no less.
That's true. Yes. Quite a guitar for quite a jacket.
The second best photo in here is of the label. That just is a clip of the map, and it just says, "Where in the world?"
Where in the world?
Not wearing, but wherein. Where in the world? Like
and
where?
it's centered on like Strasbourg. Is like the center of the picture, and it's adult XXL.
Yeah, 44. Which again, 44 is not a double XL.
No.
These are clearly. Oh, I'm sorry. This is from '93, so those are like 80s sizes.
80s sizes, yeah.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Asian sizes.
Yeah, or like Walmart sizes in the opposite way.
Right.
But yeah, there's quite a few of these really interesting outfits. There's in the cover of the actual auction itself. There's a suit, a brick suit.
Yes, they wore at the Hall of Fame induction, right?
Yep.
There's a pair of shoes that I saw that were great. At size 10, I'm like 3 sizes too big for that, but.
Were those the cartoon shoes?
No, they were like wingtips, but they had they were black with like blue I've lost him now. There's so many things in this. It's just impossible to.
If you like vintage T-shirts, you're gonna love this.
Yeah. The name, of course, of this whole auction is "Life's Been Good."
Been good to me.
Yeah.
If you haven't done it by the time you get to this, I highly recommend just scrolling through it. It is a hoot and a half.
It's amazing, as
my mom would say.
Yeah.
So go check it out and let us know your favorite picks. Once again, leave those in the comments. Email us coverbandconfidential@gmail.com. If you end up putting in a bid and win something, I definitely want to hear from you.
We've got to know. Yeah.
So maybe I can justify finding like the cheapest thing. I'll do I bought the cheapest thing in Joe Walsh's auction. Does it hold up?
That's right.
Kind of videos.
Yeah. There was one item that was backstage passes for a bunch of his shows.
Yeah. There's some super fun stuff.
Yeah.